today's game anymore, because there is a couple of players I wanted to talk about that have been heavily linked to Anfield in recent times and previously. I mean, linked Cunha to Liverpool that have been going for a long time, all the way back to Michael Edwards' first stint as sporting director. He scores a brilliant goal yesterday. We know about his release clause now, David, as well. Do you think there's anything in suggestions of Cunha being a Liverpool target at all?
Yeah, I think there possibly could be. Just through watching as well, the way this Liverpool team plays football and the role of the centre forward, and the fact that consistently, whether it's been Diaz, Núñez, Jota, the centre forward has never really got shots. And Arne Slot used that phrase, didn't he, about needing a facilitator in that role. And you think that it's all about, it's so similar to the Jurgen Klopp team in terms of getting shots for the wingers, but the centre forward's all about linking up and bringing the play together. I mean, you look at maybe Jota's role around the first goal yesterday. He's just there to link up, isn't he? And you think someone like Cunha doing that, he is made for that sort of thing. He's a very kind of similar player, isn't he, to Firmino? I mean, whether he reaches that level or not, we'll have to see. But he's a fantastic player. And I mean, he's got that. He's 25 years old, very good age for Liverpool to sign someone. That's where they like to sign them. Got experience in the Premier League, got some goals behind him, and he's got that 60 million release clause there, we understand. So it would not shock me if that was someone that Liverpool would look at coming into this summer, because I just can't see a world unless Slot's just being a pragmatist and working with what he's got. It seems to me that it's a real feature of his teams or this team that he's built, that it's or put together, that his centre forward is there to drop in and link the play rather than get shots. And someone like Cunha, will be perfect for something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you say, that release clause around it's not small, but in terms of what centre forwards are being quoted, it's not the biggest amount at the same time either. So it'll be interesting to see. And the other player that I thought had a very, very good game yesterday, Ait Nouri, a left back we've been linked with for some time. I know you mentioned him last summer as well. Would you think that is a player, Ait Nouri, that Liverpool are still looking at potentially?
I thought he was very, very impressive again yesterday, and his use of the ball. Again, he's only 23 years old. There's some question marks, aren't there in terms of his defensive output. But I think that is always the stuff you can coach. The stuff you can't coach is what he can do going forward, and his ability to link up with players and his dribbling skills. I really like him, and I wonder, because there's just a little bit less fuss around him than there is maybe in Milos Kerkez, and whether Liverpool will think, we could sneak this one under the radar, maybe won't cost as much. Same upside in terms of age and quality are all there. So I know they've looked at him in the past. Whether that's still something that's ongoing, I'm not entirely sure. But I wouldn't be against Liverpool signing him, because I think he's a quality player, and he showed it again.
Yeah, only a year left on his contract, apparently, although there's suggestion the club Wolves have an extra year. So maybe a lot cheaper, as you said, than Kerkez could well be an option. And the only final one, because transfer links are starting to root up. Sam Maguire had a story out that, I'm probably going to pronounce this wrong, but Liverpool keeping a close eye on Warren Zaire-Emery, the PSG young midfielder who plays 8 and 6 at times for PSG in a double pivot. Heard anything on this player? Heard any mentions around the club at all with this one?
No, personally, not heard anything. But one reason I wouldn't kind of doubt this story. I mean, Sam's got some great stories recently, so I wouldn't doubt it on that basis. But also, I mean, you look at a player who's 18 years old. He's got, is he nearly 100 games for PSG behind him already in a decent European league? He's obviously an immense talent. I think the big question mark over this one is that surely they're not going to want to ever let him go if they can avoid it. I guess it's all about what he sees the plan is for him going forward, whether he thinks there are enough minutes, and then again, what can Liverpool offer in terms of that. So I wouldn't be shocked at all if they were in the mix if he was to leave. But that is a big kind of ask, really, in terms of PSG being able to let him leave. Then Liverpool maybe will come to the table. But you could say that about an awful lot of players, to be honest.
Yeah, very true. It's Liverpool have got designs for a lot of players. Whether they can get them is a completely different thing. And there is a comment there from Red Armchair Support which links to this, because he said, Ait Nouri and Cunha would be good additions. In terms of Emery, he said couldn't see PSG letting him go unless they maybe got Ibu in return. And that's what I wanted to ask you, because Ibu's made comments recently, and not in a bad way, but people have jumped on them saying, very happy here, but it's flattering that I've been linked with the likes of PSG and other big clubs. It does feel, we know there's an offer on the table, and as he said, my agents are speaking about it. 3 big contracts to sort kind of has become 4 big contracts to sort. And we don't want Konate being another like the big 3 are next year, do we?
No, absolutely not. And obviously you want to tie down your best players when they're coming into the peak years, particularly when you put in a bit to developing and getting them there as well. And we've seen from Konate as well this season that he can have a better fitness record if he's looked after the right way. So, all the signs are really promising there. So Liverpool will be desperate to keep hold of him. But I find it interesting, these links, and he's being asked about them at a period where he is going through a contract renewal discussion, and that was deemed to be quite close relatively recently. So maybe it's just kind of nudging it over the line. But again, there's not a lot in that at the moment. I'm sure a lot of big clubs would be interested in him, but Liverpool's still got a relatively strong hand, and the emphasis will be on kind of getting him tied up to a new contract between now and the summer.